Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This month's discussion is all about love. It is the month of love, right? So I think it's absolutely fitting that we are talking about LOVE. Stay tuned. So, I was just thinking about just some things that God has blessed me with. And if you know anything about me, you know that I love nice things. And lately, God has been blessing me with some really, really, really nice things. And by nice things, I mean like Tiffany bracelet and like designer bags and things that I like. And I believe his name was Mr. Chapman, wrote a book, and it was talking about the love language. And I read it like some years back and determined that my love language is gifts. But there's like words of affirmation and things like that. And I was driving and I was thinking like, God knows my love language. My mom often tells me God so loved the world that he gave. That was his gift. And I was just really grateful. I'm like, God knows my love language. He knows that I love gifts. And I was thinking, I was like, well, do I speak his love language? Like, we go to church and we sing songs and we worship, but I wanted to know, like, are we speaking the love language of God? And I was reminded of a sermon that I heard in Bible study some years back by Bishop Noel Jones, and he was speaking of the scripture, if you love me, keep my commandments. And it dawned on me again that is the love language of Christ. Like, if you love me, if you want to prove to me that you love me, then you will definitely keep my commandments. So what is love? Like love is defined as a deep, intense feeling of affection. And of course, in the Bible, it talks about agape love and different types of love. But according to John chapter 14, it is repeated 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Now, to me, if someone tells you something over and over and over, it's like, take caution. Listen, I'm trying to tell you something. So in John chapter 14, verse 15, it says that if you love me, keep my commandments. And then it says it again in verse 21. It says, he that hath my commandments and keepeth him, he it is that loveth me, and he that loveth me shall be loved of my Father, and I will love him and will manifest myself to him. So again, he's even bringing the Father into it. He's saying that my Father will love you if you love me by keeping my commandments. Then he reminds us again in verse 23. He says, and Jesus answered and said unto him, if a man love me, he will keep my words, and my Father will love him, and we will come unto him and make our abode with him. 24, he that loveth me not. So if you don't love God, does not keep my sayings, the word which ye hear is not mine, but the Father which sent me. I'm reading out of the King James Version. Sometimes I'll read it out of the Amplified Version. But basically, you can sing all the songs you want. You can say, Jesus, I love you, I love you, I love you, but you are not speaking the love language of God. The only way that you can talk his love language, that is if you want to let him know that you really love him, that you do what he says. And the fact that it was just in this one chapter repeated so many times, he is trying to bring that to our attention. I like the way that he said, if. So there's doubt there. Like, if you love me, like you say you love me, it's like if your love language is gifts, or if your love language is words of affirmation, and you never affirm that person with your words, that person doubts your love. I'll sum it up with this, the way desiringgod.org put it. To love Jesus is to treasure him above all others, desire him, long for him, enjoy him, be satisfied in all that he has done. So my encouragement for you on today is to, examine the love language that you are giving God. Do you really love him? Thanks for tuning in. And that is my prayer this week, that we will speak his love language and love him even more. Thanks for tuning in. God bless.